he does this, so he's watching someone else do it. But you're watching people play football, and you don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he couldn't wrap his head around it, and it's like it's the same thing. It really is.
Yes. To some degree, I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess in the video game thing, it's very unrealistic. Even if you make a game very realistic, it's still unrealistic. It's not you. It's not a person running into a house and clearing a building with enemies inside of it, or doing 14 backflips and catching a football.
Right.
It's not the same thing, but it totally is.
It is. Yeah. Like and to compare it to like running in a house and clearing it out, a TV show is the same thing, where you're watching a player do it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's such a weird balance, and pop culture in that regard. Like I said, video games will never be the cool thing. It's cooler now than it ever was.
Yes.
It's cooler now. You don't get shunned as much. Everybody plays video games some way or another, but it'll never be as socially acceptable as in a room full of people who are talking about the NFL versus Evo.
Right. Yeah, like I went to Buffalo Wild Wings and we had like lunch, and they had a Counter-Strike Go tournament on one of the TVs.
No way.
Now it's part of Buffalo Wild Wings thing. Like you're supposed to be able to go there and watch Counter-Strike Go tournaments.
Are you?
Now I'm going to tell you
that's brought for real.
That's part of their company.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was the smallest TV in the worst corner of the restaurant, but they still had it.
It was there.
Don't know if anyone... Yeah, it was there, dang it. But I don't know if anyone was there to watch it. Like, I was kind of looking around because I was like, whoa, that's here. And then I had to, look it up and see, oh, yeah, it's part of... I don't know if they're a sponsor or what, but it's part of, their business motto to have this. So I didn't see anyone watching it, but everyone else is watching, the sport, football or hockey or PGA,
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ever go out. I mean... I played League of Legends for a while. I played that for a couple of years, and Corey still plays with a bunch of our other friends. And we would get together and watch the World Tournaments.
Okay.
Now, I never saw me going out to a bar and watching the League of Legends World Tournament.
Right.
Worlds. Now, is there something wrong with that? I don't think so. But I just never see I just don't see myself doing that. I don't know. And it's not from the safety of my home or anything. I just feel if I go out, I'm not going to want to watch a League of Legends or, tournament.
It's funny you say that. That Buffalo Wild Wings had that, and this is just slightly off topic, but they won't do wrestling. I swear, yeah, people have petitioned for them to get, even just WrestleMania. They would get so many people in there. But it's just something that they can't really do. But speaking of going out and watching it, if I had, me and the guy that I know who watches Evo as well, or a couple fighting game guys, if we could go out to Buffalo Wild Wings and watch Evo, Smash, I know me and Matt would go watch Smash for sure. The only reason, it's funny, what would be holding me back more or less is the fact that there's 5 different Evo streams and one main one. So you don't know, you'd have to go there at a specific time to see, say you watch the top 8s, they go in order throughout the day. You'd be watching top 8, Smash first and then Injustice, so you'd have to kind of time it depending on which one you want to watch. Then again, you'd be out there spending mad money all day, too. I don't drink, but even just food or...
Yeah.
Sodas. But it would still be a cool experience, I think, to go out and watch, the Tekken... I'm not mentioning Street Fighter. The Tekken Grand Finals and stuff in public, in that environment, especially if you had a bunch of people.
Yeah, and the whole thing of watching sports is you're watching with others, you're experiencing it with others, and you feel the crowd and you feed off of that. So even when you go to a bar and watch a hockey game, we're still screaming at the TV. That would be such a cool feeling to go somewhere and have someone yelling at a team online.
Right.
It's weird. Yeah. I can't imagine us ever being there, but I don't think we're far from it, to be honest.
No. I think at some point, don't know when. It may not be necessarily soon. At some point, whether, you know, it's a specific game or like a game has to get so huge,
right.
so huge in order to do that. And I still think that there's just at our age, 30s, right? There's still a massive amount of people older than us who would like put that right in the ground.
Right. Oh yeah.
Why is this here? Why is this here? But as we get to our 50s and 60s,
yes, we
become the norm of what is, you know, like what is acceptable kind of socially and what gets looked down upon. And I still think even then it would be a stretch. It'd be less of a stretch, but even then still I think nothing's going to beat sports. Not beat it, but like I don't think they'll ever be like
on the same level.
On the same level at all. So
no. I 100% agree with you. I think it's because of like you said, it's an older generation. This is what they're used to. They run the show.
Yeah.
You know, and probably to get CSGO on a television network, it had to be like their grandson or some, you know, quote unquote hip kid. You know, like, oh yeah, the kids are watching this. You know, we should put this on TV. And it was like, all right, let's take a chance. We're making $1 billion a minute anyway. Let's throw a couple million here. You know,
right.
So I think, like you said, once we get to our 50s, we will be the generation running what's on TV, what's going to be in the newspapers if they even still exist. You know, like
right.
This is going to be things that we want to watch.
I think that can happen.
Oh yeah,
I think it can happen. I think especially like the at least the main event every year, the big ones, like Apex for Smash might be on TV. Evo's it's already on TV. It is
right.
But will it be at a bar?
Yes.
That's different. But I think whenever there's enough money, well, money controls everything. So whenever there ends up being enough money or somebody wants to pay somebody to broadcast it, that's when it's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Speaking of money, like...
Yeah, go to money. Yeah.
Speaking of money, people make quite a bit of money streaming.
This is where I was going to go. I can't believe it.
Yeah, they have kind of a scheduled thing, whether it's every day, every couple days, like they come home from work or this is all they do. They're in college and they stream games and people can make 6 figures by playing video games and having other people watch them. If you're huge, you know, you might run ads. That's what they do at all the tournaments. They run ads and it's really annoying, but whatever. That's business. Or I think the main way that people make money is through stuff like Patreon. Well, Patreon's newer, but just donations in general. We'll lump it into donations. And I've never watched a stream and been like, I'm going to give this guy $5. I've never done that before. I'm watching a stream. Mind you, I don't watch streams often at all. I really do not, ever. If I see like Ricky streaming, you know, Hit Points Gaming, Crazy Ricky, I might jump in there for 5 minutes and be like, yo, bro, what's up? All right, man, just wanted to say what's up. Peace. Like, for real.
Yes,
like, I'll see he's playing something and he's at a part and I'm like, this part's tough. All right, but I'm out. I'm going to play a game.
Right.
But some people dedicate lots of time to just watching people stream as opposed to, I guess, like watching stuff like TV because you're interacting. And you're interacting to an extent. If the person is not popular, you are interacting a ton with you being one of 5 people in their stream. But if they have 1,000 viewers, man, that thing is just you're not getting any attention. But people still, bam, $5 for this guy. And I think what that a part of it is those stream layouts with the tickers of all the information. People want to see their has a lot to do with people just wanting to see their name being the last donator. Bam, $5. People want to see I got the biggest donation, and their name will be up there like all week until the next person beats like $50 and puts like 51, which is insane to me that somebody would do that. But people support the people that they like. If you really like a streamer, you want him to keep going, you like what he's doing, it's basically like giving him a tip, right? So
yes.
I would love if people donated to me when I streamed, but that's not why I do it. And I don't stream often, like nearly as often as I used to, but it'd be great But on the other hand, I do it just to share what I'm playing, talk to somebody. I usually stream retro stuff anyway. You know, people pop in, and usually retro heads kind of have a real like mind. So
yeah, you're a community,
right?
You know,
Right.
So you kind of look out for each other and such.
Yeah. So, but I like one thing. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. It'd be like just a straight girl. She's taking up 50% of the screen, cleavage out, and dudes. I mean, and there's it. I'm gonna say there's a market for it. Dudes are just pouring into this woman's pockets.
Yes.
For existing. You know what I mean?
Well, sometimes they're entertaining, you know, but I don't watch many streams, but I'll agree with you on most cases, yes.
Yeah, like they're not good at what they're playing for them. Like I'm not going to say for the most part because that's very general, but I'm saying in this specific case, and there's a video of it. It's like this girl's playing Street Fighter, and she's saying that she picked like Cammy, and this guy's playing Ryu, and she's saying, "Oh yeah, Ryu is casting a lot of spells on me right now, and I know all Cammy's combos," and she's just mashing buttons and getting wrecked, but during that period, she made like $5,000.
Okay.
That's insane.
Right.
That's insane. And mind you, Twitch actually now cracks down.
They're tight on that stuff. They're real tight on that stuff.
Well, to an extent. I mean, you see it a ton. You know, I bet if you ever seen a dude with his shirt off, he's getting a strike. But I have there's still all the time low cut as you can be on a girl, or I mean, but I guess that's hard to judge, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you showing it off versus? I mean, if a girl's got big boobs, she's got big boobs,
right? And it's not fair to say you can't wear this shirt because why can't I can wear any shirt I want. I'm a guy. I don't have you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of it's like that fine line of are you doing it for your personality for streaming? You know, it's working a market. Which is fine because it's a business, and at that point it's a business, and you have to, sex sells.
Yeah.
Or are you just doing it because I like this blouse and I'm wearing it?
Right. And I think either way is actually fine. If people want to pour into that, it's just like any other cam website that you could go to. Although now she's playing a video game,
right?
That's what you want to see. They actually
absolutely
used to have ads on G4 back when G4 was a thing, where you would pay girls to play video games with you. I don't know if you remember that. You used to pay girls by the hour. They used to advertise it on TV.
Yes.
On TV.
I signed up to be a male player. I never got any jobs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's great.
I saw a market there, some kind of revenue stream coming in. I applied and no one ever hired me.
That's great that you applied for that.
Well, you could. They didn't say you couldn't.
Right.
There was a lot of guys on there, and there wasn't that many females, and I never got a job.
That's awesome.
It's horrible.
So how do you feel like the money affects where streaming is now?
It's crazy because I wanted to say this before. It's almost like, are you donating because why are you donating? And when I was a kid, I pirated every video game I could because I didn't have the money.
Right.
We bought it for console, but on PC you just pirate it. Now that I'm an adult, I have an income that I can spend, and that people earn their money by making games, and I want them to keep making games, so I pay them for their work.
Right.
And I'm 100%. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. But with streaming, I feel it's kind of the same. You provide me a service, an entertainment service. Yep. I pay my cable bill because they give me television or internet. You provide me content and I like it, so maybe I'll donate to you. But I work too damn hard for my money. I ain't giving it to you for that.
Right.
Or maybe I'm just not at the level that I understand why I'm giving you money.
Okay.
Or I see everyone else giving you money. You don't need my $3.
Yeah.
And they make a ton of money, and I personally don't understand how they do it, but I can see why. Some of these bigger streamers are huge, and they provide a show, really entertaining show.
Right.
And that's why people, I guess, people donate to them or subscribe to them.
Which I think now Patreon being like a monthly, say you donate $1 a month, that's a perfect way.
Oh, totally. And you're going to forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they, like I've been watching, doing some research. A lot of streamers would prefer